Hi everyone! Today's video is going to be on our cook system for our 2023 AT Thru Hike. It all fits in this little bag and I'll show you how we use it. This is our entire cook system that we are taking on our 2023 AT Thru Hike. The fuel canister, this is a large fuel canister, but since we are going out in the winter, we want to make sure that we have plenty of fuel for 2 people. When you get them new, they have this little cap on that you just pull off. We have an MSR Pocket Rocket 2 stove. We have used this for about 5 years and had no problems with it. The little prongs just fold out, and then you fold out your gas valve. Tighten it to make sure you're not using fuel, and then it just screws onto the top of your fuel. You can hear it release a little bit of gas there. As you tighten it, that stops. Don't want to tighten it too tight and break your threads. We use the Toaks Titanium 900 milliliter pot. It has handles that you want to pull out before you get it hot, otherwise those handles will burn you. With a lid inside this pot. I don't believe you can see from this angle, but it does have measurements on it, on the outside and on the inside, so you know how much water to put in there. You want to add your water prior to starting your fuel to not waste fuel. Another thing to note is to try to have your fuel tank on a level, solid surface. Otherwise it can tip over, not only spilling your fluid inside, but also could potentially start a fire once you get it going. Put your lid on. Going to get your flame ready. Today's a perfect day to show you how there's enough wind out here. It's a little harder to light. So my stove is going right now. It takes, in ideal circumstances, where it's not freezing outside and not windy, it takes about 2 minutes to bring this to a full boil as the pot is full. Today being rather windy, it might take a little bit longer, but it is warm today. So you just kind of watch it. You can hear it boil. You can also put up a wind barrier around it, perhaps use your sit pad or part of the shelter for it. Whenever it's done, you just turn it off. Sometimes this little lid cap is very warm, so you can use your cloth to take that off. And if you're very sensitive to heat, you can also use your cloth on these handles, but they don't bother me. And then dump your water. What I did not mention here is our lighter I prefer this style that you just push the button, because the ones that you roll the roller when your hands are super cold, it is very hard to roll that little roller and get it started. You do risk breaking off the top of this lighter in your pack though. Now all of these items pack up rather small. We just have a random chamois cloth here because the bottom of your fuel canister does rust. This one is brand new, as you saw. I just pulled that off and it came in the store rusted this way. So the bottom does rust, and it rusts rather quickly, which then puts rust in the bottom of your pot. So line your pot with some thin little cloth that you can then use as your hot pad and to wipe out the wetness. You're just going to unscrew, place the fuel in your canister, fold everything back up. We store everything in this little roll down Light AF bag because it all fits in there then. So we just slide this down in. Then we just turn the gauge a little bit to slide this up. All of these clip down into place, and it goes back into the container. A lot of people don't continue to use these. We are, just because it has lasted so long by doing this, and we haven't had any little parts break or had to replace it. So then that just slides down into here, clips shut on top. Our lighter in, it snaps, rolls down, and clips in place. This entire cook system weighs 9.6 ounces, including the bag. The fuel is considered consumable. When we weigh out the fuel with it, it weighed 1.3 ounces for the large fuel. You can choose to re-put the cap back on or not. Because we're only putting our fuel in our pot with the lid, I'm not so concerned about tearing up the top of my tank. But if I was to use a smaller fuel canister and put things in the pot with it, I would put this on there to not worry about it. But that is our cook system. We only boil water in that. We do not do any food or spices or teas or anything in here, so it stays clean, and it works very well. Hope you come explore with us.